Hello and welcome to your Advanced Leadership webinar. My name is Jared Krebs. I'm pictured here with my wife, Crystal. We're Emerald Directors in San Antonio, Texas. And before we get started with today's special guests, just want to remind you of 10 things to expect while you're building your USANA business. Number one, there will be ups and downs. Number two, success or failure is up to you. If you succeed, it's because of you. If you fail, it's because of you, not because of the people who introduced you to USANA. Number three, the goal is for you to become independent. Number four, make your plan on the weekends. Do it all week, review it, and make adjustments. Plan, do, review, and adjust. Number five, it's going to take time. It's going to take 1 year to become competent. It's going to take 3 years to create a significant part-time income. It's going to take 5 years to become a significant earner, and it's going to take 7 years to become world-class. It's going to take time. Number six, it takes consistent work and hustle. Number seven, you're going to have to grow and get outside of your comfort zone. Number eight, mental toughness is necessary. Number nine, the grass is not greener in other companies. I've seen people leave USANA and never make what they made with their USANA business. And number 10, this is a long-term game. USANA is 25 years strong with over $2.5 billion paid to its associates. It's provided me and my wife a full-time income for over a decade, as well as thousands and thousands of people all over the world. And always remember that amateurs sell products, but professionals sell the vision. Make sure that you invite your clients to these events to where they can see what USANA can do for their entire life. There's so much the company has to offer, and few have done it as well as Emerald Directors Alberto Rocha Chavez and Paola Equiwagasca. They are my friends from Mexico in Querétaro. I first met Paola when she was just starting out in her USANA business. It was probably about 10 years ago. And then we reconnected about 4 years ago when I think she was gold and going on her way up to Emerald. And Alberto has come on as well. And their family is all gold and aboves as well. So they're just some of the most inspiring people I know. And we're going to bring them on the webcam to share their story today. So Alberto and Paola, could you please open your webcam and welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Hello.
Hello. Thank you for being here.
No, thank you for inviting us. Thank you.
Yes. Well, I want to first of all just acknowledge you for being such great team members of the USANA family, for being such great friends. It's been such a pleasure knowing you over the years and watching you grow. And thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule today. And we want to know everything. We want to know the good, the bad, the ups, the downs, how you overcame things. What do you feel like has made you successful in your business? And, you know, there's people on this webinar that are brand new, their first year. There's people that have been on for several years. So we just want to know about you, what you used to do before USANA, and what is your life like today?
Okay.
Great. Okay. That's easy.
That's not, a whole list I just gave you, but you know what I mean.
Okay, don't worry. If you have any questions, if we are missing something, please let us know. But we are very happy to be here with you. This is our first time that we're going to do this in English together.
Oh,
so it could be interesting for us, but we are always learning. So, and this is part of the things that we love by doing this USANA, because it's always pushing you to getting better and taking outside of your comfort zone, because I'm gonna dare you do this in Spanish, Jared.
I will do it.
That's awesome. Well, thank you for that wonderful presentation. We are happy to be here with you, and I hope this can help you grow your business also. So I started my story is interesting because my sister presented me this opportunity about almost 11 years. But I said absolutely no. I used to be an industrial engineer. I was still studying at that time, and she said, okay, you sign here, give me the equivalent of around $500 more or less. And I said, okay. She says we are twins, but she's actually 9 years older than me. So, I will never accept that we're twins. But okay, as she is much older than me, I said, okay, I'll sign, because if you think this is good for me, I'll trust you, but I don't want to do it right now. So don't do this, don't listen to me, because this is not a good advice, but this is my story and it is true. So I didn't do the business for 3 years. I graduated from engineering, and I started working for a company. I used to work for Coca-Cola. I'm sure you know that you know that company. I worked there for almost a year. I started in those. I continued studying my master's degree, because I thought that if I had better like studies, or not only my career but much like a doctorate or a master's degree, I could earn more money. I'm sure you eventually thought that, but that was me. So I studied a master's degree and MBA, also in a very good university here, in the same that I studied my career. And that gave me the opportunity to work for another international, multinational company, which is Colgate-Palmolive. I'm sure you also know it. Lots of home care, personal products, the toothpaste. Everybody uses that one, except us now. But I started working there. I was 25 years old, and I thought that the world was mine. I thought that I was going to become a VP in less than 8 years, and that was my goal. I had to drive about, I don't know, in miles, but around 40 miles, 50 kilometers from my city where I lived to work every day, back and forward. So it was interesting doing that, but I got used to it, and it was okay. I thought I was like the queen of the world, and the world was small for me at that time. And I was very proud of what I was doing, because my other classmates weren't that lucky to be in that kind of company, earning that kind of money, which wasn't that much, but for me it was a good amount of money, as I was living with my parents, of course. So any kind of money, that's good. So I worked there for another 2 years, but then I started to realize that there were other things outside, that I had to be there about, I don't know, at least 8 hours. Here in Mexico, it's not the same as in the US. We work a little bit more. I don't know, maybe you work more, but you have your schedule, and it's 8 hours, but you could be there 9, 10, 11, and you're still paid 8 hours, because you are like a trusted employee. I don't know how to say it.
Yeah, we call it on salary. You're paid on salary.
Exactly. So I had works on Saturdays and Sundays, and I was paid on salary. So that was my life, and I was proud of it, and it was okay. And everybody said, "Wow, you are doing great." And I said, "Yeah," but things started to change. The girls that worked around me started to get married, started having children, and some of them came back after their pregnancy and to the company and said, "Okay, I don't want to work here anymore. My heart is breaking, because I cannot be with my family." And I said, like, why? Because we are women, prepared women, professionals. We can do everything. We could have time to do everything, to be good wife, a good mother, a great employee. Why? It has to come the time that we have to choose if we are multitasking and we can do everything. So I started to look for options, and I had one option, of course, but I didn't thought it was for me. For 3 years. So my sister, imagine my sister Andrea Ekiwa, you know her, almost everybody knows her, and she's very persistent, and she had invited me for, yes, for 3 years. Imagine, it was like 1,000 invitations at least. I was her worst prospect, because I said, no. But then it came the time when I said, okay, I'm going to listen to you, to the project, and this was 8 years ago. So I started to working. I decided to do this because I thought I can live much better. I could have the freedom that I wanted. I wanted to travel the world before I was 30, not when I were, my English is failing now. When I had like 65 years old and my knees are not working anymore. So I wanted to do it before I was 30, and with my parents now that they are healthy. And we didn't know each other at that time, but I didn't have any partner at all. But I wanted to do it. So I thought USANA was the right opportunity to do this. So I'm not as brave as my sister was, because I continue my master's degree. I had 1 year left and I decided to finish it. And I also kept on working for another 2 years. So I want to make this like very long. So 2 years I combined both projects, like working for Colgate and USANA and my master's. And within 2 years, I met my income. You say that? You matched? Something like that. And 3 months later, I matched also my incentives. How do you say that? Like the assurance. How do you say like the extra? Bonuses. Sorry?
Your bonuses or?
Yes, lots of things that it's like an over salary, like almost double. Yeah. Yes, because I was assured, my car was assured, medical insurance, everything. Mm-hmm. So that's a lot of things to consider also. And I'm an engineer, so I have everything on Excel. It's my best friend. So I decided to say goodbye to the company. And everybody was saying like, what? Are you crazy? Nobody resigns from Colgate. Everyone wants to work here. Are you crazy? You're going to do bad. Everything's going bad for you. And they saying, okay, you're crazy. But I had everybody like talking to me like, resign and don't do that. So in my Excel, I had like, the amount that I needed to live for 6 months in case USANA didn't work. Even though USANA was also working already, and it was giving me around $500, $600 by that time per week. So I am very precautious. I'm not as brave as someone else, or as my sister, for example, but that's when I decided to do this. So this was exactly 6 years ago. Yay! My last day was March the 31st of 2012. So I'm very proud that I didn't have to come back to the industry. And don't get me wrong, being an employee was great for me. I loved it, but I don't want to do it anymore. So that's where Alberto came into the picture.
So you've been full-time since 2012.
Correct. 6 years and almost 8.5 years doing this like professionally. Yeah.
Yes. Wow, that's phenomenal.
Excellent.
All right. And then what happened when Alberto came?
when I came, well, I started, well, my family, it's a little different. Paula's family, it's more of engineering people. My family, it's more like a doctor family. So my parents were, well, they have a clinic. They have almost like 30 years with the clinic. And I thought that I should study something more like related to the medicine. So I since I have like horses and dogs in my house or were with my family, I thought that I should study veterinary or vet, and well, I started to study veterinary. I thought that I should have to be the best doctor so I could have a very good life. But when I started the college, I realized that there was not that thing. There were very good doctors that didn't have a very good life, and that was kind of frustrating because I thought that was the way to the success, and that was not. So I started to look to another options. Well, when I was studying, and I thought that I should start a business. I started to save some money, but when I was studying, there was not a lot of money to save. But I started something, and well, I started a small production of organic eggs, and one day when it was going to become like the inauguration of the of the business, I have also clients, and it was going to start really the business. It came some dogs from the street. They came in, and there was like a horror movie. There was blood everywhere. There were chickens in the floor dead, and it was horrible. But
they killed the chickens.
They killed the chickens, exactly.
For your organic egg business,
it was gone.
The first day?
In the first day it was gone. So well, I was it was like 2 months where the chicken were growing up, so they can start the production or start to produce some eggs. And like 2 days or 1 week from they can start to produce some eggs, they were killed, everyone. So all my investment was gone. That my small investment really, but it was gone. So then I realized that there was not just to have a good idea, to have a good business. You have to have more things, and it was really complicated. It was not that easy. So I came back to the idea to be a very good doctor. It was that easier, I thought. And when I started to see what species I would like the most, I thought the horses were the best, and I started to work a lot of time with a doctor, a specialist in horses, and I started to see that he was with health problems. He was overweight. He had heart disease, and well, also he never had some time to spend with her wife, and then he was divorced, and also a lot of aspects of his life were not going well. And I thought, I don't like that life. I like he has a good income, but I don't like the other aspects of his life. So I started to thought or to think what else I can do. And there was when my mother started with USANA. I thought that was not for me because I was working with animals and she was working with people. So
wait, your mom started with USANA before you?
Exactly.
and who signed up your mom?
It was a cousin that was presented by Andrea. So that's why we are like downlines, or Paula, it's my upline.
Okay.
It's an interesting story.
It's a good story.
Oh, wow. Okay.
But she signed up when I wasn't doing the business.
Okay, so basically you never know who's going to become an Emerald director because it was your mom who eventually found you, Alberto, and you were like wanting to be a doctor, but you were seeing that the lifestyle of the doctor wasn't so great. Besides the money, but the other stuff. So, okay, continue. I'm loving it. Keep going.
Oh, perfect. Well, when my mother started with USANA, she was more for the product, to give it to their patients. And that's why I thought it was not for me. That was like 1 year. And then I started to consume the products. I was like 10 years swimming in a, like, I don't know, like 6 hours every day. So it was very intense. And I started with some problems in the knees, and they wanted to take me to surgery, exactly. And I didn't like the idea. Well, I didn't like the idea. And my mother told me, well, you can try the Procosa, that it's a very good product for the joints, and maybe that could help you. So I said everything except the surgery. It's welcome. So I started with the Procosa, and in 3 months I felt like very good, and I could came back to a normal life, training and a normal life. And that was the point that I realized that I could recommend also the product, even if I was working with animals. That's not just the the limitation. And where in that moment I was like 1 year from graduating, and I was looking how much I could do in veterinary, and it was almost like $500 per month. So it was very small amount of money, the one that I was going to make. So in that moment, I look back to my mother, like the trajectory with USANA, and she was making a little more like 600 or 700 per month in that first year. So I thought maybe if I started to do the business with USANA, I could do the same money and not having the lifestyle of a doctor that doesn't have time for himself. So I started, and that was like 1 year. And in that first year, I went to the international convention. That was like a very good idea, because after that, I gave like 40 presentations, really like 40 presentations, and there were no one signing up. They were, no, I don't like your idea. It's good for you, but not for me. Thank you. And I was really frustrated, because I thought this business, it was not for me. Again, it was for other people, but not for me. Maybe it was working for my mother, but not for me. And when I told this to my mother, she told me, well, you can slow down, but continue. This is more like a long-term business and a long-term race. So don't give up so soon. So I said, okay, I will slow down and I will continue. And the 41, 42, 43, and the 44 came in. So I started like a real business with USANA, with 4 new members in the group. And I say, woo, this is really happening, this could work. And I decided to go to the international convention. In that moment, there was a lot of money. I didn't have the money, but my mother, again, saved me, and she gave me some money to go to the international convention. I saw there people from all over the world from USANA, and I saw people that were silver directors, gold directors, ruby, emerald, diamond, and diamond some stars. And I thought it's really a big business, and it's happening in all over the world, and I could do it. If there's a lot of people that have success in this, I could do it also. So I came back, I take all the advices that the people in the international convention gave me. And in that year, I became a silver director. That was not that easy, but I did it. And that's when Paula became gold director.
On my first week that I was running my gold career, no, on my second, he and his mom, Engracia, they both became silver on their own distribution.
Wow.
Yes.
That's so exciting.
Yes. And well, we met at that convention that he was telling us.
Oh, so you didn't even know each other?
No.
Oh, wow.
Their mom introduced us. His mom.
So you started dating your downline. Good job. That's like what you're not supposed to do.
Correct.
Yeah,
don't get involved.
It worked out. And by the way, I met Crystal the same way. So
we are excused then.
It's risky. It's risky because if it doesn't work out, then you lose the leg. But if it works out, I mean, it's awesome. So
his mom was there already. So
wow, man, 20 minutes just flies by. So I want to open this up for questions. If you have a question, we have people watching on Facebook Live as well. If you're on Facebook Live, type in your question and I'll read it. Or type in we have a few people on the Zoom as well. You guys get priority because you're on the Zoom for your questions. I'm going to start off. What was a moment that was like really, really hard where like you maybe considered quitting, and how did you overcome it?
Lots of moments. Yesterday.
No, go ahead.
No. No, I think when I decided to do the business seriously, in fact, I took the decision in one of the STI where I met you. You didn't met me, but I did. I saw you at the stage, but and I remember you. And then I came back and I started to do it, and it was very hard for me. For the people, my colleagues, my co-workers, to listen to me. So I was very frustrated because everybody came to me and help me with Excel, help me doing this, help me with anything, because I was very good at my job. And I said, okay, I'm helping you, but you have to listen to me. And they were saying, no, no, no. And my ego was crashing. I felt horrible. My self-esteem went down, and I didn't understand why. If they were seeing that I was successful doing what I did, and if I presented this other opportunity, why didn't they listen to me? So I couldn't afford the 40 no's that Alberto received. Once I broke down and cried with my sister because I received like 6 no's, like no, 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 no. And I said, why? Because I am awesome. Remember that I thought that I was awesome. So that was terrible for me. But she says, oh, you're good. You're starting to do the business. So that means that you are working. That's good. You're not receiving any no's. You are not doing anything. So I thought this is definitely not for me. I'm not used to this kind of rejection. I have never had it in my life, but that's where you become stronger when you start to grow. When you overcome that, that's when you are really going to get a different result in your life, when you're going outside of your comfort zone, where everybody says you're okay. No, you are not okay, but anyway, I'm going to do it. So
that's great advice, because what you did was you called your upline. They say when you're down, call up. And when you're up, call down, meaning if you're having a bad day, if you're down, call your upline. And you called your sister.
Yes, good news go down, bad news go up.
Exactly. If you're up, if you're having a good day, call your downline. Tell them about your good day.
Correct.
That's great. Thank you for sharing that.
That's my story, but I thought about it like every day. Well, 4 years ago, no, but since 4 years ago, no, but at the beginning, it was a continuous thought.
Yeah, always overcoming the negativity. Absolutely. What about you, Alberto?
For me, it was absolutely the 40 no's. I think that was the most frustrating moment in my USANA career. And what I did is I slowed down, or I accept to continue, but I also started to think and to do some things different. The 41 was different and he was a yes, but the thing that I did, it was that all the people in that moment didn't have enough money. So what I did, it was that I became a little more creative, and I tell them, well, you also have to eat. So your parents give you money to eat in the college, so why don't you use that money to start eating from USANA? Maybe you can do the reset
Shakes.
or the shakes, and that way they can start it to sign in and to come into the business. So that was the way that they started. So that was like one chapter, but it's to always become creative with the things. When you are stuck, you can always find a way to continue. So that's like my biggest learning in that moment. And I also in all these 8 years, I have to become creative many times. So that's like the learning that I have in the business.
Great. Awesome. I love how y'all are talking about overcoming obstacles, and that you've had many, many to overcome, because that's what we all go through. And sometimes people see these interviews and say, oh, you know, Alberto and Paola, they didn't have all those obstacles because look at how they're so successful right now. Oh, no. You went through so much. And, Victor Soto is watching on Facebook Live. He says, hello from Salt Lake City. Love this couple.
Hey, Dad!
Hi, Vic.
He's in our team.
Trinidad Garcia from San Antonio says, amazing, great idea, which is when you're talking about calling your upline. And we don't have any questions. Last shot, guys, for questions. I know y'all are watching. Who has a question? Final question. We'll give you guys another minute or two. So to end, what is your final advice for people that are starting or wherever they're at in their business? Like, what can someone take with them that you would give as advice?
Okay, well, listen to your upline. He or she wants the best for you. You have to trust him. He knows a little bit more than you. If he has one day more than you, he knows a little bit more. So trust him. And I would say stay in the business. It's not a microwave business. We don't have microwave results. That you have to work hard. It's worth it. If you stay here at least, I would say 3 years, your life can change completely. Like, you can imagine. Like, we live absolutely from USANA. My distribution, it's Emerald director, but we are both working together, that distribution. But Alberto's distribution, we have another one, and it's a gold director. So the income that you can get in USANA, it's unimaginable. And the freedom, the time freedom, you don't know what is it going to be. USANA gives you time and financial freedom. And also what we are doing with the money is that now we are using USANA money to invest in realty. You say that?
Real estate.
Real estate. So it's ridiculous. What you can achieve. We have traveled the world. We don't have family. That's why we are traveling. we don't have children yet, but really trusting yourself, trusting USANA. It's trusting the industry and trusting your upline, because if you stay, you are going to have results. If you stay and you work, no, not just staying. but I would say that. I don't know, Alberto.
And well, I think that after you trust, you have to decide, because you have to work. You have to run a marathon, maybe, but it's worth it. Absolutely, it's worth it. But I think the most important thing in this business is to have discipline. If you don't have discipline, it won't work, this or a lot of things in your life. So after you decide, you have to make a plan, and you have to stay in the plan, because sometimes you get out of the plan and you expect some results, but they are not coming if you get out of the plan. So have a plan and work hard your plan.
Ooh, I love it. So discipline and perseverance, and you have no idea once you have this money coming in, all the options and all the things you can do, which y'all are great examples of. And we do have a question here, actually 2 quick questions, and we're out of time, so I'm just gonna see if you can answer them quickly. Okay, how hard is it to work with your spouse 24/7?
That answers all. No, the thing is that we chose to be together. We can choose to do this. So also in USANA, you know that we have a lot of personal development, a lot of communication skills that you have to develop with your downlines, with your uplines, with your crosslines, but that helps you in life. So we are committed to one goal, and we are, I don't know, I never thought I would say this, but we are happy together 24/7. Before I said like, I don't know how those couples can be together all the time. But now we can do it because of those skills that we have developed, I think, in these things to this industry.
Personal growth and development.
Yes, communication skills.
Yeah, awesome. Well, thank you again, Paola and Alberto. It's been a pleasure catching up with you, hearing your story. And we're gonna end the call by unmuting the lines, and we want everyone to say thank you, Alberto and Paola.
Thank you, Alberto and Paula.
Thank you.
Thank you, Paola. Thank you.
Bye-bye, Phyllis, Randy, and Viola.
I'm gonna call you on Facebook Messenger right now.
Sure.
Okay.
Okay. Bye. Thank you.
Adios.
Adios.